What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I know I have not uploaded videos in a while. I've been more focused on breaking, but I am now going to be going back to doing both. I'm done with school now. I was done the 6th, so it's been a little bit, but I'm getting back into making videos and stuff again, and I think a really hot topic right now in general, just things that people are talking about and like a lot of questions that people are asking revolve around when to sell cards. And those have always been questions that people ask, and I personally think that you need to sell whenever you're comfortable. So these two cards here, I have two Zions. One's a gold, clearly, and the other's just a base. And these two cards I'm going to sell as soon as Zion does anything decent. His cards start going up, because I am a risk-averse person. And that means that I am not willing to hold on to these cards hoping that they go up a lot more, because the risk is too high for me, and I don't think it's worth losing out on the profit that I can already make. Now, the reason that I feel this way is because, in general, I just don't like taking risks. Like I said, I'm not a risk-averse person, and I don't want to get burned by spending money on cards and losing money. For these two, though, I'm not as focused on it, just because these came from a break that I ran, which I didn't fill. Donruss clearly is a hard break to fill. If you guys want to join a break, you can see them on my channel, and I sell them on my website. So this is the one break that I have not been able to fill. And I ended up eating the box, and I probably ended up still spending like $150, but both of these cards are worth well over $150. So I ended up getting really lucky, but for guys like Zion, guys like Ja, the cards are worth so much already. If I'm going to pull them, I'm going to get my money and get out. Because, yes, if I hold a Zion, it could be worth a ton down the line, but by the time it's worth a ton, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be worth a ton. We don't know if he's going to get hurt. We don't know what's going to happen. There's no way of knowing. Yes, you can hold one card of each player like a lot of people do. Like I have a Ja I have a 9.5 Ja SGC, and it is hoops, so obviously it's not worth anything now. But long term, if Ja ends up being the superstar that he looks like he's going to be, I'm going to hold it. Zion could be the same way. I just don't really care that much, to be honest. I hope he plays well. I hope he has a good career, but I'm just really not sold on him because of the injuries, and I don't know, I'm just not sold on him. Obviously, he's a freak athlete, good basketball player, but I also just like kind of going a different route than those that are extremely, they buy into the hype a lot. Like, obviously, Zion, there's a ton of hype. LaMelo Ball, there's a ton of hype. I'm not going to be buying any LaMelo Ball. I've never purchased any Zions. I have never purchased a Ja even besides the NBA Hoops and graded it. Everything else has been pulled. And I personally just don't, like, I don't know, I don't see the value in buying these cards because there is a lot higher of a risk if I'm spending more money. Now, I have showed you all of the RJ Barretts that I've purchased. I have a ridiculous amount of these cards. And the reason that I have a ridiculous amount of them is because last year he shot like 40% from the field. And I mean, it's RJ Barrett. He's playing on the Knicks, right? The Knicks are not a good basketball team, and I'm not sure how long it's going to be until they're a good basketball team again, but New York, it's a huge market. RJ Barrett is a huge prospect, and he also still has a lot of hype. But when you're thinking of when to buy your cards, when to sell your cards, I bought these cards before the season started, and this was honestly, I think it was around finals time, because I knew that nobody is thinking about the Knicks. They didn't play in the bubble. No one was talking about the Knicks because they're a bad team, and you could find these cards for dirt cheap. I could have sold these cards that I purchased for triple or quadruple my money just because I was sniping auctions, and I decided, no, I'm going to hold them because RJ Barrett, he's got the keys to the kingdom. They're going to run the offense through him out in New York with the Knicks. And there's no point in selling these cards right now because I know they're going to be worth more down the line. Now, the point of this video is when to sell your cards, but we're going to talk about buying a little bit. you want to buy before the season starts, because when you get into the season, generally you're already going to be too late, and the margins that you have are going to be a lot smaller. So let's say I buy RJ Barrett at the start of the season. His cards have already went up substantially compared to what they were a month or two ago when he wasn't playing. And you're just kind of limiting yourself on how much money you can make in these basketball card investments, which they are investments. It's just like buying a stock, hoping that it goes up. Yes, it's a gamble, but stocks are a gamble as well. So yeah, when you're buying, if you can, buy before the season starts. You can still make a lot of money during the season. Like with Tyler Hero, I made a ton of money, and I bought most of his cards during the season. But the thing is, if I would have bought those same cards earlier before the season started, I would have made probably well over $1,000 rather than $500 or $600. So if you can purchase before the season, there are times that I personally believe are too late, but when you're selling, it's whenever you're comfortable. I don't like answering people's questions when they ask, when should I sell this card? Should I invest in this person? Because it's all based on who you're comfortable buying, who you think is a good gamble, and that you are comfortable with holding. And if you do end up losing out on some money, you just kind of have to be okay with it, because we're not perfect. We're not going to be able to guess correctly every single time. And if you can, try to at least get back the money that you can, obviously. If you do end up having an investment or purchase that goes wrong, like Keston Hiura, I bought his cards really cheap, and they didn't get near what I thought they would, but I still ended up profiting slightly because I knew that, okay, I'm going to sell these cards now. I don't like the risk of holding them longer. I don't want to wait another year to see if he plays well, because I had a pretty big collection of him. So I sold him when I knew, okay, I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm going to sell now. But you have to feel like this is all based on how you feel. You can't ask somebody, oh, when do I sell this Zion card? They don't know. You don't know, but you should go with your gut, because they could tell you to sell now and you could make a ton of money. They could tell you to sell later, and maybe you could have made way more money later. Or if you sell now, you could have... Where am I going with this? All right, we're going to restart that. Someone could tell you to sell a Zion now, but if you sell the Zion now, it could be worth way more later. If somebody tells you to sell it later, it could be worth more now. So you never know. It's all based on how comfortable you are selling this card. These RJ Barretts, I could already make a lot of money on these cards because I bought them all in lots. If you're investing, try to buy cards in lots, especially sniping auctions, because that's generally the best way to go. But these cards specifically, I plan on, as soon as RJ Barrett starts playing well, people start talking about him a little more and his hype gets going, I'm going to start selling the cards. This doesn't mean that I'm selling all the cards at the same time, because generally what you're going to want to do, especially if I have this many, what I'm going to do is I'll probably take some of the cards that are parallels and variations. I'll probably sell some of those, sell some of the base, sell some of the NBA debuts, just because I'd rather slowly sell. Because if you sell right away everything you have, it could still go up. So after his cards start going up again, I'm going to start selling. Probably a couple times a week, I'm going to list some cards until they're all gone. And the best part about this is it gives you a chance to make more money, because you're allowing the card to still grow while you're selling, as well as you're not selling everything right away. So you can kind of see where things are going. The thing is, for me, if I see RJ Barrett playing extremely well, I'm going to profit as soon as possible, because I don't know how long that will last. In general, he's been a streaky shooter even in college, so you really just kind of have to feel around and kind of just think, okay, do I want to hold this card? Do I want to be, well, am I okay with waiting and just honestly being okay with more risk? And you have to kind of see how you feel. If you're indifferent, you're going to be kind of in between. You're just going to kind of have to feel it out. If you're risk averse like me, you're going to want to sell early. If you're risk loving and you want these cards to be worth a ton down the line and you're okay with holding and possibly losing out on profits, then I would hold your cards because you love the risk. But also, if you're risk averse like me, you can also lose out on a lot of profit, because let's say if I was collecting back in 2011, 2012 when these Trout rookies were out, if I collected a lot of these cards and sold them right away early on, they wouldn't be worth what they're at now, and I would have lost out on a ton of profit. But the thing is, I'm going to take the guaranteed profit over the possible profit, because I'm just a lot happier with knowing, okay, I'm profiting off this. I don't want to have the risk of possibly losing out on this profit later on. And this is all based on feel, guys. If you are struggling with figuring out if you want to sell the card or not, you really just need to think, do I want the money from this card now, or do I want to wait and see? And you can also, you don't have to completely sell off a certain player. I could keep half of these cards, or at least keep a couple, so if RJ ends up being a superstar and his cards end up being worth a ton, I'm still going to have some stashed away, but I also made a huge profit because I sold at the right time. And that's the thing you have to do. You kind of have to diversify. It's the same thing as stocks. You can invest in these huge players that are absolutely insane, who have showed that they are the real deal. This is why Michael Jordan, obviously LeBron, Luka's getting up there now. Like, all these cards that are worth a lot of money. The reason that they're worth a lot of money is because, okay, they're the best players in the league or of all time. We understand that. But the thing is, those are the investments that are honestly the lowest risk, because you know if LeBron gets hurt, it's LeBron. They're going to go up forever. LeBron is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Obviously, Michael Jordan, going to go up forever. You have guys now who, if they're rookies, it's going to be a risk regardless, and I'd rather spend a smaller amount of money on those cards, which is why I've been buying people like RJ Barrett, or I bought into Tyler Hero, and I would rather deal with volume than cards that are just extremely expensive and only a few of them. Like, if I spent the same amount of money on Zion as I did on Tyler Hero, I'd probably have like 2 or 3 cards, which is insane to think of because I had like 40 or 50 heroes. So yes, all based on feel. Just know, you never know if it's the right time or not to sell. You just kind of have to feel it out, do your best. But I think the only one thing that I will tell you that you need when you need to sell is sell in season, because when you sell out of season, there's no hype. Card values are generally down. Like, you can see all the card values for basketball were the lowest they've been in a long time, but they also have went back up because we know the season's coming, the season's starting. We are in the preseason now, and it's only going to go up from here because now we're going to actually see people play. People are going to play well. Their card values will go up, and a lot of this is just knowing, yeah, I could sell. Like, if you do want to sell and you just want to offload some cards, yes, I understand that. But if you want to maximize your profits, sell during the season, and also sell when the hype is there, because nothing ever lives up to the hype. Tyler Hero, for example. People told me, don't sell right now, they're going to get to the finals and his cards will go up. I sold the night of his 37-point game, and the cards that I sold for probably 1.5 times as much as they were in the finals. Obviously, the Lakers wiped the floor with them, but you'd think, oh, they're in the finals now. But the thing is, the cards, they stayed stagnant the whole way. Even when Tyler Hero played well, they stayed stagnant. The cards and their values hardly ever live up to the hype, and that's why you want to sell when the hype is high, because hype is what drives these prices up, and that's why people purchase these cards. They want to try to beat everybody there, and they want this get money quick, get rich quick kind of thing, and that's just not how it works. You have to wait. Like, I bought these cards for cheap, and I'm going to make a lot of money off of them, but it's going to take a while. Like, it's probably going to end up being 5 or 6 months of me waiting until I can sell. It's already been 2 or 3. I don't think it's been that long. It has not been that long. But it's going to take a little while. You can't just buy and flip like a lot of people think, because that's what a lot of people want to do. They just want to flip cards, and it's a lot harder than that, and it also is hard to maximize your profit when you are buying a card for $150 and selling it for $180 the next week, because like, with the fees and everything and shipping, it's just, you hardly make any money off of it, and the amount of money that you have to be able to do that at a high volume to actually make money is kind of insane. So I definitely would recommend buying before season when the hype is low, selling in season when the hype is high, but the actual time where you sell, there's no way of knowing. You just have to sell when you're comfortable with the profit and knowing how much risk you are okay with taking or not taking, and that's basically it. There's no real sure way to know when to sell these cards. It's just like a market. You don't know if somebody's going to get hurt or what's going to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We have a couple breaks coming soon. I'm just waiting for products to come in, and obviously it's taking longer because of Christmas and the shipping times are extremely delayed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Good luck with your investments, and in the comments let me know what you guys are investing in and when you plan on selling. I love hearing it. I like talking to you guys, so yeah, just let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.